The panel's back here to discuss this all. First of all, you're in Arizona, which could be a battleground state. I know you're saying it probably won't be, but do you think it's closer? Which poll do you believe, I guess is my question? 46, 41, 5-point gap for Clinton or 12-point gap for Clinton?
You know, all these polls that are being ran nationally, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all about winning the states. It's all about winning the states. And so it's early on, so I don't pay a whole lot of attention to any of them.
Governor O'Malley, when they found out you were going to be our guest, a Republican group called America Rising was nice enough to put together a little clip of this greatest hits of things that you said about Secretary Clinton, about Wall Street, foreign policy, gun control. We'll run a quick clip of that. Let's play that.
Put out your proposal on Wall Street. It was greeted by many as quote unquote weak tea.
Can you point to one instance in our foreign policy where a Secretary of State, Secretary Clinton, had an understanding of what was coming after the toppling of a dictator?
Hillary Clinton flip-flops in the wind.
I think that last one was with me. Your response? Your response?
Yeah, look, we had a very hotly contested primary in our party. Went all the way to the end with Senator Sanders hanging in there through California. And I believe that because of that primary, Secretary Clinton is actually stronger than she was before the primary. And the bottom line is this, Jake. Look, we're down to a choice between two people. And I can tell you as somebody that campaigned my heart out there in Iowa, Hillary Clinton is a tough person. She is ready to do this job. And Donald Trump is not. I mean, here's a man who declares bankruptcy in serial fashion. This is a man who is a total hypocrite when he talks about manufacturing being offshored, and yet that's how he makes his products. So look, there is a clear choice here. This is about our country's future.
Oh,
and in this contest, there's Secretary Clinton is clearly the only one of these candidates that's ready to lead.
Ken, I want to come to you on VP, so just give me one.
She has such a terrible record. I mean, one quick thing. I mean, her record as Secretary of State is we have greater relations with two countries in the world, Iran and Cuba. Everyone else is worse. That's her record, and 4 dead in Benghazi. You want to talk about records. Donald Trump has his own issues in his record. She has dead Americans on her resume. And that's her 3 a.m. phone call. You were right on November 22nd. She has never been right about the outcome of the various foreign policies that she has led the effort to change.
What do you mean he was right on November 22nd?
I watched your interview, and the date was November 22nd.
That was November 22nd.
And he's been he was absolutely right about toppling dictators and the utter failure to have any preparation for what comes after.
But let's not forget it was your party that actually led us into these devastating wars.
Libya?
Into the massive
Libya?
debt.
Oh,
no, I'm talking
toppling
about...
Gaddafi?
No,
that's what you were talking about on November 22nd.
No, I was also
and now
talking,
it's controlled by ISIS.
No, and right now I'm talking about the disastrous foreign policy that President Bush led us into, that as a nation we are still struggling to recover from.
I think you would find there are a lot of Republicans that don't really think that record by George Bush was that great in foreign policy. I don't think there's necessarily a partisan divide. I think you may see areas where there's agreement across what Washington normally thinks of as party divides, and foreign policy is one of them.
Nina, this is part of the problem, though.
Well, I want to ask you a question about Bernie Sanders, because you're a Sanders supporter at this table, and I have to say...
Proudly.
A proud Sanders supporter, yes. Do you think, as somebody... Well, first of all, are you going to vote for Hillary Clinton in November?
I'm going to the convention. We will see.
So you're not even necessarily saying that you're going to vote for her?
I'm still fighting this. I mean, Senator said who he's voting for. I'm in this space, going to the convention, and let's see. This is about the people for me, and I'm not about to sacrifice my values or my principles. Who I'm voting for is not as important as who the American people will see and need to be their leader to lift them. And Senator Sanders was absolutely right. He is continuously asked the question about where his voters are going to go and what they're going to do. The senator has said from the beginning that he's going to do everything possible to defeat Mr. Trump, but at the same time, the entire burden of whether or not his surrogates and his supporters support the secretary, that entire burden is not on him. It is also on her to
Are you still hoping
votes.
that he becomes the nominee somehow?
Look, the math is not there. We get that. But we are going to that convention to fight for the most progressive platform possible. And until I see that happen, until I know how that's going to happen, I'm going to continue to fight.
Does this concern you, Governor, as somebody who wants Hillary Clinton to be the next president? I mean, you saw the polling that I presented to Senator Sanders. You hear the lovely and eloquent Nina Turner right here talking about she doesn't know who necessarily she's going to vote for in November. Aren't you worried?
I'm not worried. What I'm actually encouraged by is the fact that, in fact, the platform has become a much more progressive platform. I mean, the Democratic Party is very unified on issues of gun safety, the repeal of the death penalty. We understand that America is a nation of immigrants. That, in fact, immigration reform and the necessity for predictable immigration laws that are fair, rather than the sort of massive internment camps or Joe Arpaio lock them all up.
Or violating the law.
We better start supporting the Constitution and the
Yeah,
rule of law and the Bill of Rights.
God forbid.
Let's support having the Statue of
It's
Liberty be a
America.
national
Again.
symbol
It's
instead of barbed
America.
wire fence.
The voters are being
look,
left out of
I
this,
think-
Jake. I'm trying to bring it back to that. And the governor can't judge, who I choose to vote for or not vote for, as well as anybody else.
Not
We are
judging,
Americans
just-
in this country.
I appreciate
and
it.
people have a right.
This is such a great table. I got to
We're all
break it.
going to come together,
Can we
Jake.
book you guys for next week? Okay, we're booking you for next week. Hotel rooms, planes, all booked. I'm committing right
Hillary
now.
is not a truth teller.
All right, thank you, Governor. After the break, hitting the links with Donald Trump. Who's the best, who's the worst, and who's giving the ball a little kick into the hole? It's all this week's State of the Cartoon Year coming up.